too many people spend their time talking about shit and not getting involved. And I always say to people, get off the sidelines and just get involved because it's important. Especially if you have something to say, do it. And you'll surprise yourself when you actually do action and get.
What is happening, Post Shifters? Welcome back to another episode of the Post Shift Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Shawn Soole. If you haven't noticed, I'm doing 2 mammoth live streams in one day because I'm a glutton for punishment and I need to deal with everybody else's schedule and just fit it into my own. So I'm really looking forward to it. This one is kind of fun because like Colin and I have known each other for years. We passed in events and tales and obviously those sort of things, and we're always in the same crowds, but like it's one of those ones that if I think back, I was like, I haven't had you on the show yet. I literally reached out and I was like, dude, I haven't had you on the show yet. Like, we need to fix this because I'm almost at 500 shows now. So trying to keep track of everybody I've had on the show and then also reach out and then schedule and get everybody's schedule around. So I'm going to screw this up already. I know I am. I'm sorry, Colin. Colin Asare-Apiah is the former trade director of multicultural and LGBTQ advocacy at Bacardi. He is now the trade community director. He is the 2024 Tales Visionary Award winner for Tales of the Cocktail, which is a massive honor. I'm really looking forward to digging into this because we have mentalities towards like small cocktail culture and I'm just really looking forward to this conversation. And I always get gushy and excited when I have new people on the show. But thank you so much for your time, Colin. Thank you so much.
Greetings and salutations, Shawn. How are you, mate? And you did almost get it right. It's Colin Asare-Apiah. It's a Ghanaian name, obviously, hence the Asare-Apiah, and it's quite a popular name in Ghana.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Is it like Smith?
Whoa, easy. Not quite like Smith, but not far off. You know what I mean? No, I was born in Ghana, and my family's Ghanaian, obviously, and yeah. So that's the last name.
That's very fair.
Yeah.
So for everybody who's listening and wanting to know your story, I'm a big comic book fan and I love origin stories. So how did you get into this wonderful world that we call hospitality? Where was your starting point?
Oh, how long have you got? No, I started when I was at uni. I started as a waiter and saw I'd never be a bartender. I saw that the guys behind the bar always finished after us. On the floor, we had that instant connection with the guests. And then after I finished university, I ended up I've told it many times, I ended up in a bar in Greece. I run out of money. My dad said to me, because I said to my dad after when I was going, I said, "Oh, I'm going to go." He said, "Why are you going to go and do this?" I said, "I'm going to go and find myself." I needed some time after uni because I've been studying for so many years. And he said, "Well, good luck and find yourself." And I remember calling him, asking him for money. He said, "Well, find yourself." So later, and he didn't send me any money, so I had to pivot real quick. Met a wonderful woman, Harriet Grant, who put me up and found me a job bar backing in a nightclub called QP. And I remember I was just bar backing, but fell in love with just bar culture. When I was there, the bartenders were like gods. They literally come in. And because I set the bar up so well, because I was the best bar back ever, because I set the bar up so well, they'd just come in and cut a couple of lemons, play some backgammon, and then the crowds would come in and they'll crush it all night. And they were like gods. I thought one day I want to be like them. And I ended up working there. I was backwards and forwards for like 3 years, which was amazing. But my position as a barback, though, was quite foundational to me. And I partnered with Douglas Ankara, Richard Argroves, Alex, and a few, Andrew Chansing. And we opened the lab. And one of the foundations of the lab was that you had to be a barback before you worked on the bar.
It is something that I think that is a little bit lost in this day and age because I get staff shortages and stuff like that, but like there is a certain je ne sais quoi in like making that transition from bar back and understand every little movement, where everything is, mise en place, and then moving to a bartender, there is something to be said about that. I started as a dishwasher and working in the kitchen, and then did that progression.
Right. Yeah, and also one of the things I always say as well is people always looking to recruit people into the bar. I also say look at your floor staff and get them behind the bar as well, because they know the beat of the bar. They know the cadence of how everyone works. They know where everything is, or they know where the bodies are buried. But they're foundational. I mean, barback's foundational. People on the floor as well. I mean, everyone in any venue is important and has a role to play. But coming back full circle, my start in the industry was as a barback. After swearing I'd never do it.
So, what was that transition time? Because I'm always curious about people's stories. Because what were you studying at university?
Business and finance.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing to do with bartending. And I thought I was going to be a marketeer, but it didn't quite work out.
I would say that's what you are now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm marketing myself now. You should always get involved, bruv.
Yeah.
You know that's coming.
I know. It's the hashtag that's on your the post I put yesterday. I didn't put your job or anything. I said just the hashtag get involved, bruv.
Exactly.
So what was that transition for you when you were like, okay, well, university's out the door. Like this is going to be my career and this is my job.
I think is one of the what my dad said to me. I think was quite resounding, in that he did leave me with that phrase, which is kind of, I mean, it's been used forever. Find something you love, and you'll never work another day in your life. But it was really, really true. I actually really loved what I was doing, and because of that, and also it was an exciting time in the UK. All of the bars we were moving from pubs to like style bars, and everyone was starting to really understand the classic structures of cocktails. We're digging into it was like digging through the crates. We're finding all these vintage cocktail books and recreating those cocktails, but then putting our own spins onto them. And this was early, what was that, 90, it was the 90s. It was great. It was absolutely awesome. 92, 93, 94. Wow. Those were some heady days. And a lot of the guys that we all came up through the industry, a lot of them all doing amazing things now. You know? And
So
we were there to start the cocktails like the espresso martini. I mean, I first had one from Dick Bradshaw.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Come on. It was amazing.
That's fantastic.
We were there when Doug was creating the Porn Star Martini. God bless his soul. I still meet him every day. Bless him. But I'm celebrating him all the time. We're all celebrating him. It's time to do some lab revival gatherings, but we'll talk about that later.
So how has the industry changed since those days to now? Like, I feel like we go through cycles and trends, and then I feel like sometimes our culture is a little bit more insular than it was before the pandemic. Like, I feel like the next generation is sort of disconnected because we had that big gap of that time. How does the industry look to you from when you first started to now?
Well, I'm at a different stage in my career, so obviously it's going to look different, right? And just looking at the next generation coming up, they have a lot more access and connectivity and a lot more resources than we had. You can be instantly dialed into what's going on around the world. I love that through social and just through all the different WhatsApp and chat groups. And for me, it's been brilliant working with Bacardi Brands, because we got a global network of advocacy team members all over the world, and we're always touching base with each other to see who's doing what and what's the next generation getting into. And for someone like myself, I wish I could be a young bartender in this day and age. I would be doing things completely differently. And one of them being I'd be entering um, all of the competitions and just planning my career a little bit better. But we were just, messing around and finding out. We were trial and testing stuff. Now, the industry from being a trial and test kind of environment, loads of things have already been tested. It's become more of a profession.
Mm.
There's so many more avenues that you can pick and lanes to do in the industry. Like, I mean, I could just be a podcast presenter like you.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? From selling in drinks to being, being on podcasts and creating platforms for others to share their voice. And I really think that this generation is really lucky to have all the tools that they have at their disposal. And I think the industry is going to grow exponentially over the next few years in different ways that we haven't even imagined yet. There's going to be new things coming. For example, when I started bartending, there were no brand ambassadors. There were no brand ambassadors. It's like people were asking, what's that? Our generation created those kind of roles. And I think there's going to be other avenues coming along that people can dial into. But it's an exciting time for the industry, irrespective of what's happening socially and economically. I think the industry has become a lot more connected
Mm.
over time.
Yeah, I find it's always interesting to talk to some of my younger bartenders. Like when I started in the industry, there was no internet. Like if you were gonna go and like research, you had to go find old books, which again eBay had just sort of kicked off, or you had to go to every
Drink boy,
bookstore. You had to go
drink
to
boy.
yeah, you had to go to every bookstore and pick up like, oh, there's a book about tequila. And then most, I would say, looking back, 65% of that book was probably mostly garbage because it was
Uh,
all secondhand information.
Yeah, it's all secondhand information, but a lot of classic cocktail books I still use as reference tools. I think they're
Yep.
fantastic because they're foundational to what we do. Because it's important for us in any walk of life to understand what happened in the past, because it kind of grounds you in the now and helps catapult you into the future. And
So
books are foundational for that, I think, as well.
So I'd love to chat to you about your advocacy work because again, like we were just talking about, brand ambassadors didn't sort of exist, and advocacy work is a relatively new segment inside big companies when it comes to like bartender outreach and stuff like that. How
Yeah.
is that? How does that fit in your narrative and how you sort of perceive yourself going into markets and doing this advocacy work and working with teams?
Yeah, it's important to have people that are of the industry or of a segment of people talking to those people to make representation matters.
Hmm.
It always has done for me. It's funny, I was speaking to, where was I? I was at Bar 5 Day, and Charlotte was in a room. And I remember pointing out, oh my goodness, 20 plus years ago, Charlotte, you opened one of the first all female bars, and it was just what you did, which was
Hmm.
amazing. And she normalized it from back then. And being someone as well who's a black African English man in this industry, there are many more people now that look like me, walk like me, talk like me. Ian Burrell, he's not, he's anyway more. We know he is the geezer, Mister Rum Ambassador. But there's so many more people that look like us and talk like us and walk like us. Representation matters, and it's really good to have um, people that look like you talking to you and communicating the messages of the brands. Brand ambassadors are really important. I feel that they're foundational to sharing the messages of a brand, and it gives a human voice to a brand, and it engages the bar community in a different way. And everyone has their role to play. Everyone communicates the messages differently, which then adds to the whole melting pot of the industry, right? And yeah, brand ambassadorship has shaped and changed as well. There are those that started off as brand ambassadors and now they're podcast presenters. They've got their own brands. They own their own bars. You know what I mean? There's many avenues that they've gone off, and they're consultants like John, and there's many avenues for them to do. But at its core and at its essence, brand ambassadors, I believe, are going to be here to stay.
Mhm.
And there's that movement. There's always that movement and that shift to commercialize what the ambassador does. There's that's important, but building desire as well is definitely one of the key tentpole activities that ambassadors do.
Do you think, talking to young bartenders, because I do talk to a lot, and as
Hang
you
on,
were saying,
before you do, when you say young bartenders, how old are these young bartenders? I still feel like I'm young,
you're young at heart, my friend. But I do try and let them in that understand that the hospitality industry is so multifaceted that you can go in so many different directions. That you can be a really good right hand person to someone who's leading the charge, or a brand ambassador. I even had one bartender who really loved gardening and farming, and I was like, okay, well, we're expanding the group. Why don't we try and find a little residential farm that you can look after that, and I know that you're going to know exactly what I need for the bar because you've worked in the bar. And he's like, I never thought of that. Do you think a lot of young bartenders just have this sort of this sort of straight that view of I bartend, I become a bar manager, I either become a real estate broker or I buy my own place? When there is so many facets to go.
Yeah, I always try, and whenever I have conversations with other bartenders, I always try, and I know you like that, other bartenders. I still class myself as a bartender.
So do I.
Once a bartender, always a bartender. I in conversations with them, I always try and instill them with a sense of them trying to fill their cup in other ways. Apart from bartending, what else do you do? What else brings you joy? And focus on that and bring that out, and expand upon it and share it with the world. One of the things, as you know, I've always be shouting from the rooftops is about the continent and doing things in Ghana. I've worked with a bunch of different groups across the continent. And I decided a few years ago, I'm going to start a cocktail festival. So Jabu Cocktail and Spirits was born with my business partner, Mark. And we started it in South Africa because that's where we opened the lab in 2001-2. This year's 25th anniversary of the Porn Star Martini, because that's where Douglas was inspired to create the Porn Star Martini. And I did it because we had a lab there, but then also because I felt very connected with it, because of I wanted to keep Douglas's name alive, and the community there is fantastic. And what we do with Ajabu is we bring people from all over the world, and then also from all over the continent, into a symposium style kind of event, and it's great. One day you're gonna have to come, Shawn.
I do. I see Gakuru's stories because he's a social media diva, and so I see it, I'm just like, man, that looks like a lot of fun. But as we were saying, Africa is a massive continent, huge markets, multi-million person markets. Yet the cocktail culture is still sort of starting from a low point, a 0 point, and growing up. How have you seen that change with Ajabu and that sort of thing, and sort of nurturing that?
Yeah, I'll change that. It's not a zero. It's far from zero. There's a lot already going on, and there are people already operating at quite a high level, and the resources have been very different there. So what's happening now is there's a lot of attention. I remember in 2017, with Kurt Schlechter and a few other people, we stood at Tails and we said, it's Africa's the future. A couple of years ago, This is Africa. That was the first seminar. Remember, a few years ago, we did another seminar, Africa's Now. And now it's a time where A lot more people are going over there of their own validation. Hero Bar just won Best Bar, 50 best. It won Best Bar in Africa, which is an amazing accolade. And also they've all been nominated in Tails, Syntax, and all of these other bars are really starting to shape the dynamic and the perception of what's happening in the continent. There's also other cocktail festivals that have been going on. I remember before we started Jabu, I was near that Nairobi bar show was something that had been going on. Lara Rara is, I think, it's 10 years old now. Lagos Cocktail.
Wow.
It's 10 years old. I was just absolutely blown away. Yeah, she's been doing it for 10 years, and it's amazing that people have been doing this for years and they've not had the attention that they deserve. But hopefully, with what we're doing and all of our combined resources, we're making a lot more noise. I think also something that we need to know is it's a younger demographic across the continent. It's a younger professional demographic. They're all out. They're socializing around cocktail culture, and it's definitely a space for a lot of the spirits brands to focus their energies moving forward. Because there's been a dip, or people are drinking differently across the West, but across Africa, people are still, as I like to say, getting involved, bro.
That's interesting. What do you think what's the next sort of evolution of the African cocktail culture as a whole when it comes to so I know in the past I competed years ago with someone from South Africa. I can't remember his name right now, and he said just getting products and having that brand involvement and advocacy in the continent has always sort of been a slow moving train. Has it are people starting to wake up now? Corporations starting to wake up now, going, oh no, damn, we can really make a dent here.
Oh yeah, we have Abacado, we have advocacy team. There are other brands as well that have advocacy teams across the continent, and I think as long as we just keep investing in the trade, the more that the industry will grow, and the more that it will show people that are looking for a career and a pathway into hospitality that this is a profession that's encompassing for all, and you can bring your own spirit to make change within the industry. This is one of the most, I would say, embracing industries. It's one of the industries that you can bring different skill sets to it, and you can make a real impact and a change. And I talk about it. I always, when I have presentations and seminars about this, I talk about people being like the essences of a cocktail. You know, some people bring the spirit, others bring the ice, others bring the spice, other people bring the techniques of shake. You know what I mean? And we all have a role to play. And the future, I think, is really bright for the continent.
That's nice. You always say a bit more sexy than I do. I just say everybody's a puzzle piece, and if I had a box full of the same puzzle pieces, it wouldn't fit together. But
Yes.
if I have a proper puzzle, I can put it together, and everybody is a piece of that.
You're right. Correct.
Outside of Africa, because your love of Africa is obviously very, very profound. What are you seeing as the markets that are really coming up through the ranks? Because we do get a little siloed especially if you're in North America, you sort of get siloed very much into Toronto, Vancouver, New York, San Francisco. And I'm like, well, there's a lot of area in between there. But globally, what are the markets that you're really excited seeing these communities sort of grow?
Yeah, I feel lucky working with our advocacy teams across all of the Bacardi platforms, because the markets that I see a lot of dynamic shifts coming. Mexico is just on fire. I always go through Mexico City when I go to Patron in Guadalajara, and I go and visit Cazadores. I try and go through Mexico City to see what the cocktail culture is like, and the change that's going on in that city at the moment is amazing. And places like Dubai as well, there's so much happening in Dubai. I remember speaking with Ollie Hampton in Dubai around what's happening over there. The Golf Bar Show is providing a platform for bartenders and brands to showcase and highlight what's happening in the region, and also India. Places like Delhi, Mumbai. I speak to Dimitri every day. You need to get Dimi on here. Get Lazinska on here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's it. Make a note.
Making a note.
Making a note. But yeah, speaking of Dimitri all the time, just hearing about what's happening on the continent is really eye-opening. And the fact that there's so many people adopting what started off as cocktail culture here in the US and making it their own, that's really exciting. Also, what it does is it gives any bartender, and young bartenders, I always keep saying to them, listen, the world's your oyster. You can literally pick up your shaker or a jigger and go anywhere in the world, and you always have a job, and you can make a craft. I mean, look at people like Eric Van Beek going to Mexico and opening Handshake, best bar in the world, and all that. You know what I mean? It's fantastic. Yeah, it's so
my Patron picture is right there.
It's right there. I see it.
I was
with the barrel.
Yeah, I was there in April last year. It's just an amazing, just an incredible trip. I'm going to be very blunt, and I think I've said this openly quite a couple times. I've always not held Patron at arm's length, but like I've just sort of had my opinion about it, which opinions have to change. And after visiting and just seeing the people that work there and the space that's there and just the vibe, like you walk through that bottling line and every single person on that fucking bottling line is just like, hola, hola, and just having the best time of their fucking life. And I'm just like, okay, wait a second. This is not just about the juice, and it's not about the pretty bottle or the packaging. Like, this is about something completely different. The school on site, like, just everything. And I came back as a massive advocate. It was my first trip to Patron. It was like just a massive advocate for the brand now, because it just eye-opened the culture around. It was nothing to do about anything else except for that culture that just drew me to that place.
It's the people. You're right. The people, they make the difference. I love visiting. I was just there recently, and it's the people that really the many hands that touch the brands that make a difference. And I got the opportunity. Actually, all of us got the opportunity to try new innovation that's coming out, the Patron 100, which I'm sure you'll get in your hands soon. And it's distilled to proof, and it's 100% Tahona. It's absolutely delicious. Yeah, wait till you get your hands on it. I can't wait to drink it. I'm waiting for my bottle. It should be here in the next 2 weeks.
That sounds like a still strength Tahona milled.
Yeah,
it sounds.
It's more difficult to do than people think, and and it's just using all the ingredients, simple ingredients, right?
Yeah.
Using 100% Woad Blue Agave, water, yeast, thyme. That's it. Easy. Keep it simple, my friend. And that's why I always like making simple cocktails as well. You know what I mean?
They're always the ones that, like, everybody's like, oh, I got to do this, especially like this next generation. There's so much information out there, like all these different things. I'm like, let's just jump behind the bar and make a sidecar and just have a really nice sidecar, or a really nice Tommy's, or like just a really classic cocktail, and then see how simplicity just like clicks for you.
Yeah. What cocktails are you drinking at the moment that you love?
Negroni.
Negroni.
I'm a Negroni man the whole time. Like I'm wearing my cognac hoodie, but
I know that's what I was about to say. You wear the cognac hoodie.
But like for the young industry people that may be in smaller markets, what are your keys to success when it comes to building a community? Because here in Victoria, like we saw each other in Vancouver last year for 50 Best, which was just a massive gong show. But I'm back based here on the island. Our city has like 365,000 people in a massively spread out area. So we've always like punched way above our weight. We've got some great cocktail bars here. But what are your keys to success when it comes to building a community in a small market? Because the hardest thing for a lot of young bartenders is staying there, because they'll win a competition or they'll just get a little stir crazy and move on. And people ask me why I've been in Victoria for 20 years. What are your keys to success?
The keys to success in building community, I think, it's having everyone having shared vision,
Mm,
everyone having a shared vision for what they want to their community to represent, internally and externally.
mm,
I think everyone has to be willing to listen to others, and that is really the key to people building their community. Also, representing what is local, trying to promote local uh, with the resources that you have, and trying to make some kind of impression regionally, nationally, and internationally, and advocating for yourselves.
hmm
You have to advocate for yourselves, because if you don't advocate for yourselves, who else do you think is going to do it for you? And I really think that um, we as a industry now have so many more platforms to be able to connect with everything else that's going on. The cocktail festival like Tales 50 Best. Get yourself up on the podiums, write some seminars, share your love and passion for something with people. I want to see more of the next generation really being the voice and mouthpieces of their area,
mm.
their regions. I'm seeing that more and more, and it's great, because people like us, we've been doing it for a long time. You know what I mean? We don't need any more accolades. You're good, bruv.
Yeah, we're good. I'm good. No, especially in Canada, I find
Yeah.
Canadians are being
Oh,
a
they're
pusher.
lovely. They're
Yeah,
lovely people.
but like we don't like screaming from the hilltops. We like to like be very understated. And obviously, being Australian, that doesn't work for me at all. Understated is like 10,
Yeah,
10 things down from the things that I want to
right.
be. Um, so going forward, fast forward, like as we go through, we're going through a tumultuous time, whether it be
Yeah,
socioeconomics and politics, and
yep,
it can get very heavy outside of our
yep,
hospitality industry. How do
yep.
you see advocacy and mentorship changing over the next like 5 to 10 years?
I how do I see it changing? I don't. It's not so much changing. I think it's a movement and a morphing of what's needed with the
Mm,
times. And I always believe that advocacy, obviously, is space and a place for the trade to be able to connect, and advocates of the industry, be it they work for a brand or they don't. I actually think now more than ever we need our community spaces and our third spaces, and we need to definitely listen more. I think there's going to be a lot more forums for people to be able to find their niche communities, because what I'm seeing now is that there's special people are starting to specialize a little bit more
mm.
in the industry, and I think there's going to be a lot more of that specialization going on. We are in tumultuous times, as we know, and we just need more spaces and places for us to connect, and also connect and hear each other,
Hmm.
and listen and be a resource, and share our resources as well. I think we're seeing a lot more of a sharing kind of generation here, but sometimes people overshare a little bit too much. Yeah, much is life. But I'm always there to listen.
Mm.
I'm always there to be an ear. I'm always there to offer my resources that I have, and I think more people are in that space as well, which is a great thing.
I have a 15-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
and she amazes me on a daily basis on
Mm,
the way she holds herself, the way she deals
yeah.
with drama with her friends. Like
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, it must be tough having a 15-year-old girl," and I'm like, "No." She has drama with her friends. She's like, "Listen, I appreciate you. I hear you. We're just gonna have a disconnect for a couple of days, and we're
Yeah.
not gonna talk. When you're ready, I'll touch base with you in a couple of days after you've like settled down." And
Yeah.
she has zero drama in her life, and I think that's the zero fuck policy I have in my life. Like
Yeah.
zero drama. I'm not going to deal with it. Um,
Exactly.
But yeah, she like shows me, and then I see that in the younger bartenders, the 21s, 22s that are coming in the ranks now, they're in touch with what they want.
They are.
I wish I was in touch with what I wanted when I was their age.
Yeah. They said, what I've noticed is they seem to advocate a lot more for what they want than we ever used to, because you know what, we're fucking around to find out. Oops.
No, you can swear. I've been swearing the whole time. You can swear.
Yeah, we're like, fuck around and find out. And that's what that's what we did. And I think we've done a lot of those things that they don't have to do anymore, but they really do advocate for themselves now. I'm seeing a younger generation. They've got a voice, and they're not scared to use it, and they are very vocal about where they stand, which I really appreciate.
100%. I try and advocate as much as possible, because I try and mentor owners and managers, and I'm like, listen, you can't say that the next generation doesn't work. Like, the generation before you said the exact same thing about you.
Oh yeah.
Like, and before that, I was like, but they know what they want. And if they want to work a 4-day week and save their money up and go away for a month, if they're really great stuff, you cater to that. And that's what you got to do. I'm a champion for the 4-day week. I think every server and bartender should work 4 days a week, have a really good 3 days off, and come back killing it.
And come back refreshed, and then also provide them with the opportunities to go and do other things. Oh, just is an interesting one. When I was working at 15, Jamie Oliver, we used to have these educational sessions that we could go on, and basically you could pick anywhere in the world that you wanted to go with one of our suppliers. You as the bartender, you paid for your flight there, and basically I'd put out 50%, the business put out 50%, would get over there. But then once you're over there, that supplier would look after you. Obviously, I put out my hand, and I went to Brazil 3 times.
Why would you not?
I said, cachaça. Yes, that is where that's what I need to do.
Well, that's
epic.
I did the same thing. As like, we closed down for a renovation. I got one of my bartenders a stage at Mobius.
Ooh.
And he went and worked a week at Mobius, and like scrubbed down the bar, did like prep, everything. And now he's making a move, and he's actually talking to Lorenzo about going to work at Mobius after his stage and go. He's 26. I'm like, dude, please don't stay here. I love you. You can come work with me, but like, go away, do 2 years away, and then you can come back and we'll work together again.
Yeah, I know. That's what it's really important. That's what we're doing with Ajabu. We have the scholarship program through WSET and Edinburgh Whiskey Exchange, and it's great to see people really embracing these platforms, getting involved, and educating themselves so they can be better at their jobs. And then when it comes to staging and apprenticeship, speaking with some folks recently about staging at their bars, people are really excited about that opportunity to bring people in and host them and so on. So yeah, it's what I love about this industry is there's so much opportunity.
Oh, 100%. And if you reach out, the worst someone can say is no. And that's like, and no is not a bad word. Like, no is just a try someone else. That's pretty much it.
Basically. So, yeah, that's the idea. That's the idea. Try someone else and knock on other doors. There will be a way. You know?
So Ajabu is 2 years old, 3 years old.
This is the 3rd year.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, 3rd year. We do well, now it's kind of a spring edition, and then we do the summer edition
at
the end of the year. Which is this one is a little bit more international. I think who's coming? Sip and Guzzle coming over. Press Club. We've got loads of local bars as well across the continent. Hero, Front Back coming. Revolver. One of John's and mine's favorite folks, funky guys from Funky Monkey, are coming. The cool beach bar, and they'll pop up with all the local bars at Syntax and all of that. Yeah, these are all going to be household names one day. And then in November is a lot more Africa bars come from, like not just South Africa, but more so from Nairobi and Nigeria and so on.
Are you planning to always keep it at Cape Town, or are you planning to move it around the continent?
Yeah. The idea is that we'll move it around the continent in time, or elements of it. And if we don't, it's absolutely fine. Or because what we can do then is we can help and inspire other people to start their own cocktail festivals.
Yeah,
But then we don't need to. You know what I mean? So
that's fair.
yeah, exactly. Help others. I mean, to do their own.
So, what's the rest of the?
Each one teach one.
Yeah, what's your plan for the rest of the year? What's evolving this year for you?
Yeah, well, at the moment, I'm really excited about getting involved. We got 50 Best coming up back in Vancouver. Let's go. That's going to be awesome. I'm excited to see where the lists land up and see what people are doing and who's pushing the landscape, cocktail landscape. And then also, obviously, we have Tails coming up, which is going to be, I think, I love going to Tails. I love all those hot, sweaty hugs. People complain about it, but I love it. And then just being in community with everyone. That's what we've been looking forward to this year. We got, as I said to you as well, we've got new brand launches coming out. We've got a Patron 100, which is going to be fire. And it's our advocacy team as well is growing. We just started working. Oh, one of the guys who used to be at Bacardi Legacy, he has now just ended up. He's becoming a national U.S. ambassador. Darnell Holkin. He won Legacy here in the US a few years ago, and it's 360, and that's what I love about this industry. Those 360 stories. He's now becoming the brand ambassador for Bacardi Rums, and I'm really excited about working with him as well.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a whole new generation of cats coming into the team, and I'm excited to share my experience with them.
It is always like you're saying, the diversity. It's like today I did a live stream first thing this morning, had a quick phone call with the sponsor, did some cognac tasting videos. Gonna jump on with you, gonna do a mentorship straight after. And then I gotta go to one of my clients and get some spent coffee grounds so I can make a coffee bitter.
Okay.
Yeah, just that's a Thursday. I just love how much advocacy and all the work you do for everything. I could talk to you for forever. And I'm so glad I reached out and got you on the show. And
thank you so much for having
me. So at the end of every episode, I do deep podcast questions. And these are questions that are meaningful. Every guest gets them. I never tell anyone about these things because everyone's like, oh, I wish I knew about this beforehand. I'd have a better answer. But it's supposed to be like quick fire. What is one lesson or experience that has shaped your perspective the most, and how do you carry that forward in your life, whether that be career or personal?
Mine has always been about sharing and about providing a platform for you, providing your platform for others to be able to elevate them.
Amazing. If you could leave one lasting message or piece of wisdom for the world, what would it be and why?
Oh, come on. You already know the answer. Bloody hell. You don't need to answer it yourself. It's get involved, bruv. Too many people spend their time talking about shit and not getting involved. And I always say to people, get off the sidelines and just get involved because it's important. Especially if you have something to say, do it. And you'll surprise yourself when you actually do action and get involved.
Looking back on your journey, what is something you wish you had understood earlier in life?
Oh, my goodness. I wish I'd actually paid attention and really studied the craft of the cocktail in a different way. I wish I'd worked with Dick Bradshaw. That's one thing I wish I'd done. You know? I wish I'd worked with Dick Bradshaw.
That would have been, that's like up there. Like my claim to fame is two claims to fame when it comes to that. I tasted the penicillin for one of the first times when I was at Milk and Honey back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I was actually
made by Sam Ross, right?
Yeah, made by Sam Ross. If you didn't know, And then I was actually there when Gary Reagan stirred his very first finger.
Oh, bloody hell. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I built a platform. It's called Letters to a Young Bartender. And it's been running at Tales of the Cocktail now. And I take it to other cocktail festivals. We did it at Puerto Rico Cocktail Week in the Spanish language, which was awesome. And he actually did a letter, which you can still find Gaz's letter. I think it's on the Tales website. And yeah, what an amazing human being.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. One regret that I never had him on the podcast. How do you define success, and has your definition of it changed over time?
How do I define success? I've always defined success with enjoying what you do on a day-to-day basis. And, as my dad said, find something you love doing and you never work a day in your life. As I mentioned to you at the beginning of the show, I don't think we're on air at the time, but being able to do what you love doing is really important to me. And as soon as I start finding or start feeling that something is becoming like a job, I put a different kind of lens on it. I attribute a different energy and start looking at how I can change that into something that I could love, or if not, I pass it on to someone else to be able to do, because it's important. Because when you come from that space of trying to do something that you love, you end up doing a much better job. Not saying you can do everything that you love, but it really does help.
What do you hope your legacy will be, and what steps are you taking to build it?
I'm already doing it. My legacy is he came, he saw, he got involved, bruv. And I really hope that years to come and down the road, people go, yeah, Colin came and he really helped. He really helped everyone to be the best at what they could be.
That's amazing. Like I said, man, I could sit here all afternoon and just hang out with you and just
Vice
chat.
versa.
And you're going to be in Vancouver in April?
I'll be in Vancouver in April, yes.
There's one or another reason for me to maybe take the trip over and stay.
I think you got to be there.
Yeah.
You got to come and get involved, bruv.
Well, thank you so much for your time, man. Like, I'm so glad I had an opportunity to get you on the show and show everything. I got to make a trip. I've got when we get out of this and go back in the green room, I'll tell you a couple of secrets that I've got brewing this year that I can't openly put in. But I would love to come to the Ajabu Cocktail Festival and check that out, because it just sounds phenomenal. And everything that when John and I were chatting as well on the show, like he just endorsed it as well. So I'm missing out on something right now.
Yeah. You do. You got to come there. Accra Bar Show, Lagos Cocktail Week, Nairobi Bar Show. It's
so much cool stuff going on. Okay, my friend. Well, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'm going to chat to you really soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye.
All right, Post Shifters. That's it for now. Keep your standards high, your spirits neat, and your team tighter than your porkos. Catch you next week on the Post Shift Podcast.